Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Authentic Beauty, where we believe that makeup and beauty should be for all ages, all races and all genders, and also that it should cater to all budgets. My name is Lisa, and today I am showing you how I created this sort of 90s, early 2000s throwback look with a bit of a rocker, bit of an emo vibe. I have just moisturised, so I'm going to use that as my primer today, but I'm going to start in with my foundation, which is the Dream Radiant Liquid by Maybelline, and this is in the shade 01, which is Natural Ivory. So I'm just going to place that on the back of my hand, a few pumps of that, and I've got my beauty sponge, so I'm just going to put that all over. You know what foundation is, so I'm just going to go and do this, and then I'll be back. So that's foundation on, and now I'm going in with some concealer. I've got the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser. This is in Ivory. This is in my Shop My Stash, so I'm just using up the last little bits there. As you see, I've taken off the sponge applicator because I think I'm a bit funny about the idea of using the sponge with it all being like a liquid. It's just a breeding ground for bacteria, isn't it? So I'd much rather just use that as just a sort of, just like a little dropper thing really. So I've just taken some on the back of my hand, and then I'm just placing that. Oh, that's gone quite thick there, but never mind. It'll brush, it'll blend out. This is perhaps going a bit dry actually. I think this is the issue. It is quite old, which is why it is in the Shop My Stash. So I am going to use the beauty sponge just to blend that out. So I'm just going to take a little bit more and then just tap it down into my lines, just down here. And also on my T-zone. Just the normal places that I put my concealer. So now I'm just going in with the W7 Sheer Loose Powder. This is a little bit too dark for me, so I only want to use a very, very small amount. So if you don't know, I'm doing a Shop My Stash every month. January's video I'll put a link to just up there. That's where I picked all these items. I do go through why I've picked them, what I've picked, and what my reasons for doing the Shop My Stash is. So if you want to go and see that, as I say, I will put the card just up there. Yeah, I've got two palettes in my Shop My Stash. I've got the e.l.f. one, and I do also have this sun-kissed one just to give me the extra options. And I'm actually going to use this one. I'm going to use this pink shade just here, so it's quite a bold pink. I'm going to use this as a crease colour and also as a transition shade for the rest of the darker colours that you'll see in a minute. Oh, there's no mirror on that. So I'm just placing it kind of into the crease, but then taking it up a little bit higher. Obviously because of my hood, I do want the colour up a little bit higher, but all of this, pretty much everything lower than this, is going to be smoked out with a darker colour, so I'm not really too worried about it, but I do just want to lay that down first. And do the same on the other eye. Just using a light fluffy brush for this. I do just want to make sure that it's even on both sides. I know, right? Who'd have thought, having an even eye look. As I say, I'm not too worried because I do know that this is going to be blended out in a little bit anyway. So I'm going to go in now with one of the darker colours from this palette. You might think I'm going to go for a black, but actually I'm going to go for this one here, which on camera is looking more like a brown, and it's a sort of brown, grey, brown, dark grey. It's not quite a charcoal, but it's definitely sort of leaning towards a charcoal type colour. And I'm just placing this just onto the mobile lid, and I'm just pushing up where my socket is, so I'm just pushing it into my actual crease. And again, because I've got that fluffy brush, it's kind of slightly blending in with that pink above it. I'm going to do the same on this side, so going in and then pushing into that orbital bone, that socket. As you can see, I'm not really blending or doing any kind of like particularly blending move. I'm literally just packing in and moving it around sort of on the inside of my eyelid, on the inside of that bone, on that socket, and it's kind of doing the job for me really. So what I am going to do is, I don't know whether you can see, because of the hood, this side particularly, when it drops down, all of that colour disappears. So I am just going to take that up a little bit higher while still maintaining some of that pink. So there we go, so that's the next shade down, and now we're going to go in for some of these really dark ones over here on this side, and I'm kind of drawn to this black just here. So I'm just picking that up on the same brush. This is all using the same brush, by the way, so it's super simple. And I'm just going to lay that black all over the lid. So it's starting to build it up. Do the same on this side. Now there is a little bit of fallout with this palette, but that's okay. It should just brush off in a minute. Right then, so I'm just using a fluffy brush just to brush off the excess that's fallen. So I'm going to go in with a Morphe M423 brush, and if I show you, it's just the sort of flat-ended brush, just like that. So it's a really nice brush to use for kind of going in and doing detailing, especially under the eye. Now, because we're going for quite a sort of grunge look, that bit there that's already kind of, that mistake that was made, if you like, we're just going to incorporate that into the look. So we're just going to go slightly thicker on the outer edge, and I'm going to take that black shadow all the way across. This is a really simple look to do if you want that sort of dark 90s kind of vibe, or that sort of grunge vibe, that rock vibe, because you can't really go too wrong. Now I'm just using a slightly smaller brush, and I'm going in with that same black, and I'm literally just darkening up that outside corner just a little bit. I'm not really changing the shape of that black, but I am just darkening it up just on that outside corner, and I'll show you again the same on this eye. So I'm just literally taking it up from where the bottom liner is, taking it up and then darkening that whole outer corner up just a little bit, and then going back there. So I've just colour switched that same brush from before, that blending brush, and I'm just going to use that just to slightly smoke out those edges just a little bit, so it doesn't look kind of too placed. I do want that to blend in a little bit with the pink and the brown that we laid down before. So there you go, that is kind of the eye look done, really. I did say it was a really simple grunge look, didn't I? I'm just patching up my little bit just there, which doesn't want to take any colour. I am just using that same black shade. I'm just putting that just there, basically where it's a little bit patchy. Now this palette is not a bad palette. As I say, you can get a lot of different looks from it, but sometimes I have found it is a little bit on the patchy side, so you do need to just go in a little bit with a second sort of layer. Right then, so that's that done. I'm just going to do my eyebrows. This is the Freedom Duo Brow Powder in the shade Medium Brown. I'm just going to take this darker one of the two. I'm just using an angled liner brush. I'm just going to use this just to darken up my eyebrows. Now I am just going to take a little fluffy blending brush and just try and just smoke that out just a little bit more on the edges. Again, I don't know whether you can see just on that side where I've kind of smoked it out, it has just created that patchiness that I was talking about. So I'm just going to go back in with a little tiny bit more bit of that black just on that really patchy bit there. You can see really clearly, can't you? I don't think I even need to zoom in when I'm editing. You can see just how patchy that is just in that corner. Now partly that is an issue that I get every time with my eye just there, but it's also the fact that these shadows do end up being patchy when you blend them out. So yeah, just be aware of that. But I do quite like how that is looking. Okay, so then let's go on to the rest of our face products. So this is in the Marshmallow palette that I'm using, the I Heart Revolution one from last year, and I'm just using the Marshmallow shade, which is the palest one. I'm not doing a lot, Right, I think that's all I'm pretty much going to do. I might do a little tiny bit of contouring, but only the tiniest bit. I'm certainly not going to use any bronzer, so I'm just using this paler one and then this slightly peachy tone colour here, and I'm tapping off. I'm just actually going to brush it off on my finger and just put a little bit just kind of there. I don't really want a lot, but I do want just a little hint of... Yes, I know it's a very 90s kind of grunge feel that we're going for, but this isn't the 90s, and we do now know a lot more about contouring and how to shape the face. So, you know, I do just want a little bit of contour element in there. Right, again, I've just put a little bit on the brush, and I'm just going down the sides of my nose, just a tiny bit, just to shape that a little bit. Right then, so I am now going to go for my mascara. So just before I was doing my face today, just to get me in the mood, I did put on a load of my 90s sort of rock, alternative, emo type music. So I had some My Chemical Romance, Papa Roach, Linkin Park, all of those sort of the 90s, early 2000s kind of rock stuff. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. I was totally rocking out sat here, so I will put a little bit of the footage just in here, just while I do my mascara. So that's my mascara on. I am going to do my lashes now. Now, the one thing I did just realise, if I was being true to the era, I probably would have used this, which is the Great, what's it called? The Great Lash by Maybelline. This is something that was so iconic back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I think. I absolutely remember wearing a lot of this particular mascara. So yeah, I just really like it. It's a good one. It's a staple. It's been around forever. You know what you're getting. It's nothing exciting, but you know what you're getting with that. But anyway, it's not in my Shop My Stash, so I didn't use it today. Now, also not in my Shop My Stash are any lashes. Now, I don't really wear lashes on the daily anymore because, again, there's not a lot of point if you're just going to the shops. However, I have got these ones which are from Makeup Accessories, which were from Poundland, and I'm going to reuse these two that are just there. So let me just whack them out. Now, personally, I don't like the glue that comes with the little sets of lashes, so I'm actually using the Superdrug lash glue, and this is just their standard one. The duo glue is really good as well. You can get that in Primark. So yeah, just going to whack these on. Okay, so now just to finish off, I'm going in with my Ciate London. This is the Stamp and Drag, but I'm using the, well, I'm not used, that's the stamp. I'm using the eyeliner side of it today. I'm just darkening up the inner corner, just so it kind of blends in with that lash band. I don't want to take it on the lower lash line on the inner corner, but on the outer corner, I am just going to take it, just run it just along my waterline, just to about the outer third, like so. Yeah, just like that. So for lippy, I do have two choices in my Shop My Stash, both dry down to a matte base, which is very much on brand for sort of the grunge emo type look. So I'm going to use the, shall I use the darker one? This is the Catrice Generation Matte Liquid Lip, and I can't remember what this shade is. Does it tell me? No, it doesn't tell me. It probably does somewhere, but I can't remember. Anyway. And I know that does look quite wet now, but I will dry down into more of a matte formula. Let's give it a couple of minutes. So there you go, that is the finished look today. What do you think? I've added some Umberto Giannini curl jelly to my hair and just kind of whacked it up very loosely, very kind of messily put it up. And then I've also used the XX Revolution Hydra Fix setting spray just to keep everything in place. I really like this sort of grunge, sort of rock look from back in the day. It really reminds me of what I used to rock back in the sort of, there's about a 5-year period from the late 90s, early 2000s, sort of that block of time. If you are from the Dungeon in Southampton, if you know, then you know. So big shout out to everybody from the Dungeon from back in the day. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button and then click the bell icon so you're notified each and every time I upload a video. Also, while you're doing the social media things, I'll put all my social media links just down here, so they should be coming up on screen just there, including my TikTok, so why not go and check that out. But we've also got a Facebook page. That's right, myself and the lovely Kirsty from Making It Up. I'll put her channel link just up there in case you don't know who she is. We run a Facebook page together called Making It Authentic. It's a really lovely community page where we shout out lots of other small content creators, whether they be small businesses, people on YouTube, people with blogs and blog posts, that sort of thing. So if that sounds like something you'll be interested in sort of being a part of, do check us out on Facebook. But that is it from me today, and as I always say, stay you, stay safe, stay authentic, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.